All right, so this is the next post and the last post until I get down the rest of the playlist. But all right, so this is another one of my inspired by my favorite rappers kind of reading. So in the ethos, the discussion is all for the love of drug dealing. So who's doing it all for the love of drug dealing in the ethos, and who needs to pay attention to that? Let's see what pops up in the general energy here. So you have the Knight of Hazards. So this is somebody that's young. They're getting a little bit of money and they're hella reckless with it. Okay, they're not really sure. They get it, they lose it. They get it, they lose it. This is their thing. It's an irresponsibility. They move a little bit faster than they should. The Knight usually moves a little bit slow because it's an Earth energy, right? But this is a younger Earth energy that's really getting to the money right about now in the ethos. And it, all for the love of drug dealing, right? So we got the Fool here. The Fool comes down. The Fool comes down in reverse. I'm just showing it to you upright, but he's in reverse. So he don't know no better. Or she don't know no better. They have no idea, and they don't pay attention to the warnings because they're so busy getting this fast money, okay? And they getting it, they spending it, and they not paying attention to any of the warning signs because they're not really conscious yet, right? They're not really aware quite yet. Let's see what else comes up for all of the love of drug dealing. And this is typical. And so you have Judgment here. And so, this individual, he's young or she's young. She's getting to the money and not paying attention to the warning signs that come and ends up falling off the cliff. And so you have this judgment that takes place. So, this particular earth sign should be very mindful of how they deal with the process of the hood, the process of the streets, things like that. Being unaware resurrects all kinds of things, and getting fast money that people that's in your peer group is not able to obtain creates envious energy and jealousies and unnecessary issues that you don't want to have to deal with. So, as you tap in, understand that there's limitations, rules, and regulations. And so, make what you make. If you get away with it, you get away with it. But understand that if you got away with it, make sure you walk out when it makes sense in a respectable manner so that you don't have to deal with a cycle that you don't want to deal with, right? So you have this Five of Swords, exactly, and then you have Death, and then you have the Queen of Swords in reverse. So these young earth signs out here going about their business, making their money off for the love of drug dealing, not paying attention to, patterns, positions in people, resurrecting all kinds of jealous, envious energy. And then you have this Five of Swords. It brings violence into reality, and that's not what you want. And also it brings death into reality and the endings. And this doesn't necessarily mean a physical death, but this could be, ending your abilities to do things like that or make money like that, tarnishing your whole entire little situation, right? And then you have this Queen of Swords. So you have a Queen of Swords here. And when the Queen of Swords comes into place, she may be in your environment, in your circle. This may be somebody that you're attracted to, that you deal with. But she's not really for you. So pay attention. Pay attention to the feminine principles that you deal with when you in that energy of all for the love of drug dealing. So there goes two cards that pop out. And so you have the Seven of Wands that comes here. Keep your little guard up. You have the Eight of Swords also. Jail, imprisonment, right? And so when you're dealing with that, jail and imprisonment, and then a Seven of Wands, pay attention to this, because if you are interacting with a particular energy right now, a feminine principle that moves in her air, her earth energy in a negative aspect, it'll get your up, and you'll be sitting there trying to defend yourself out the situation because she's not. It's just that simple. She's just simply not. And so you have to pay attention to that. Young earth signs, okay? Pay attention to that. But overall, outside of that, I don't get off of there real quick. You have the Chariot, and that's in reverse. So this is a loss of control of of the aspects of reality, but this is also a inability to move forward. This also is associated with water energy. This is also in this particular deck, you know, it's a whole little chariot involved in reverse. So therefore, you know, this is about a masculine principle that's very young. They get a lot of money. They don't really pay attention to how they get the money. They're not understanding the cycles and what causes the conflicts because they're getting the money and the endings and deaths and things of that nature that may be attached to it, dealing with a particular female who was like, listen, I'm not about to be off at the end of the day. So understand who's for you all the way to the end from the beginning. And from the beginning to the end when it's all for the love of drug dealing. Deuces.